Hello, my name is Matthew, and I recently read With the Flow by Joris Karl Huysman, however you say it. And um, I was on the phone with my friend about a week or two ago. We were talking about Against Nature. We were laughing about the story. So, Against Nature is Hausman's, at least in the English-speaking world, his most famous book. It's referenced in The Picture of Dorian Gray, and it's a kind of a catalog of a novel. Um, Basically, only one character, very little plot, but the premise is that Decentes, the character in Against Nature, wants to live a life of solitude and live in a world of high, strange art, and he wants to use all of his senses um, to their highest points. So, um, sight, sounds, smell, touch, um, his library, and we get these catalogs um, of the uh, the different colors of paint that he's thinking um, to paint the walls, and um, really interesting thoughts about, well, he wants to have artificial light, and so he has to find the right color um, wallpaper, or right color wall paint that won't look good in natural light, but will look good in artificial light. Um, he'll have these um, huge, lavish meals where everything will be black, and we get a catalog, a list of all of these black ingredients and black foods, um, perfumes and flowers, lists of flowers, and he always wants everything to be the rarest and strangest and most luxurious. He'll have cabinets of curiosities full of rare metals. He'll have his library with a selection of all these books, and you'll get lists of um, his remarks and thoughts on all the books that he has. And that's essentially the book. It's just a catalog of sensory objects, and then kind of criticism and thoughts about um, all the things he's filling his house up with. Um, but part of the premise of the book is that he has infinite wealth. Um, how he's making his money, how much money he has, is really besides the point. You just take the assumption he's infinitely wealthy, money doesn't matter, and he can afford all of these things. And we see it play out. So, my friend and Kevin and I were talking about that, and I mentioned that Hausman had another book, which is, sorry for the preamble, but With the Flow. And it's a nearly identical premise and setup. Again, it's basically a one character novel, and it's someone that does want to have the nice things in life. But the difference is that he's poor. And so instead of luxuriating about a collection of perfumes or strange carnivorous um, flowers that he can decorate his landscape with, instead of that, it's a guy that works a kind of a um, dead end office job. He's a government clerk, a copywriter, and he has a life of um, uh, empty, lonely, monotonous days. He wakes up. I can't remember if yeah, obviously they're in Paris. Um, Wakes up in his little Paris apartment, um, gets ready, goes to work, um, does his copywriting in silence, goes off for a walk, and then goes to the same little restaurant that he goes to every single day, and sits alone, eats his food. He goes back to his apartment, which is dirty and cold, and he goes to sleep. And he does this day and day and day after day. He has an epiphany that he's going to turn his life around. And what's the big thing he's going to do? He's going to pick another restaurant. That's what is allowed by his economical means. Something as small as, every day I go and eat this food and I'm disappointed. Now I'm going to go somewhere else and eat different food. And again, we start getting these catalogs. We have this character that's going around at different restaurants. And I don't know if it's just me, but the book is hilarious. The food gets worse and worse. The meat will stink and it'll be putrid. The wine will be cut with kerosene, and we just get like one disgusting meal after the other. One character is getting stomach pains. He's self-medicating himself at the druggist. He's now taking arsenic and creosote. He's getting sicker and worse, and he's changing his medicine to try to feel better. And finally, he decides that he's so depressed and so miserable, even going outside, that he's just going to, he finds a delivery service, and this is like a gift from the gods, that now he can just go home and eat, not only in solitude, but without anyone even seeing him. And this is a grand day for him. He's all excited at work. He knows at the end of the day he's going to get home and his food is going to be delivered. And at first, it works out fairly well. He's looking at what has been delivered and thinking like, oh, I can eat this. Like, it's not so bad. And then the delivery person starts coming later and later each day. The food is getting worse and worse. Finally, he's finding like pie crusts in his tapioca, and he like shouts out, the proprietor that's sending him this food, he shouts out, "They're poisoning me!" And he realizes they're dumping all of the leftovers from the patrons that are dining at the restaurant. They're just scraping off the table for him to eat. There are a few other scenes where other characters come in. One of his, like an old coworker, he bumps into an old coworker and decides to kind of take him out on the town. They're going to go to a club. They're going to go to the theater, and he's absolutely just like revolted by society at this point. And it's a slim thing. This actually has 2 stories, so it's maybe like 40 pages or something. For someone that has read Against Nature, I find this book fascinating. I think if someone has read Against Nature and enjoyed it or found it curious or anything like that, maybe interested in other things by Huysmans, or thinking, what else can you do with a story like this, where there's basically no plot, basically no characters, except one main character, basically just a description of things. How does that work into 40 pages or 200 or 300 pages? So it's another example of that kind of experimental story. I'm a big fan of Huysmans, so it was great fun revisiting this. This was I read it one night or something, one sitting. Let me know if you've read it. Let me know if it sounds interesting, if I did a good job explaining, things like that. So thank you for watching. Please leave a comment if you would like. Thank you and take care.